Hi there. Today I wanted to talk to you about self-portraits. Most photographers enjoy being behind the camera much more so than being in front of the camera, but I think it's important to document ourselves as well, whether it's with our family, our children, friends, or just us individually. I think it's really important to have some documentation of us as well as we move through our lives. So today I'm going to talk about self-portraits, how to get focus. You want to consider all of the things that you normally do when you get ready to take a photo. You want to have um, good exposure, good white balance, all of those things. And then focus is usually the biggest challenge because we are not behind the camera in order to adjust our focus. So today we're going to talk about that as well. Self-portraits can be very classic, like a headshot or a formal portrait, or they can be very creative. You can use some digital art and really create some fancy self-portraits. But today we're going to talk about pretty much the classic kind of self-portrait. The other thing I want to encourage you about, in addition to doing classic self-portraits, is when you travel, if you travel, make sure that you are in those photos as well, that you've got documentation of the places that you've been. It's fun to look back on those, and yeah, we all feel like maybe we don't look our greatest or whatever, but it's important that that you're included in those pictures. So one of the great ways to get focus if you're out in an environment like I'm in is to find a tree or a bush or something in which you can put your focus on. And then once you get into the frame, make sure that you are in alignment. So if I had my focus point here on the front of the tree, I would want to make sure that my face is about the same depth as the tree. That's one easy way to do it. Not everybody wants a tree in their portrait though, but that's one thing that you can do. The other thing to take into consideration with self-portraits is because it's difficult to get focused sometimes, you want to make sure that you have not opened your aperture too much. I recommend at least an f-stop of 4, maybe 5.6, depending on how much bokeh you want in the background, that sort of thing, but you also want a nice depth of field. So that would be my recommendation for that. Probably my favorite way to set my focus point is to get my tripod set up, have my camera angled exactly where I'm going to be taking photographs. Then I take the camera off the tripod. Then I'm going to stand where I'm going to be standing for the photo and aim my camera at the ball head, focus on the ball head, and that way I've got focus in the correct distance. The other thing I like to do at this point is to use my Expo disc to set the white balance. You can set your white balance however you like. A lot of people like to just shoot auto white balance and then set it, adjust it in Lightroom, which is perfectly fine. So by taking your camera off the tripod, turning around, shooting in the direction, with focus on the ball head of your tripod, you'll have very good focus. You might want to put a little stick on the ground or something so you've got your toes in the same spot so you know exactly where you were standing. That works really well if you're in an area without a tree or anything else to focus on. So give that a try, and I hope that works for you. So once you feel like you have your focus taken care of, you've got your white balance set, you've got exposure, then it's time to start taking a few, what I'll call test shots, because it usually takes a few times before you get things the way you want them. Think about the pose that you want to do and start shooting. Now, I like to take several images while I've got the remote in my hand, and just remember to hide it somewhere. I'm not sure if I did on all of those or not. But take a few while you've got everything set up. It might be spot on, and so go ahead and take a few different poses, and then check and see. Check the back of your camera and see if you like what you've got. And then you can move on to another location. You can change things up a little bit. Keep in mind that every time you change location, you'll want to check your white balance, and of course you'll need to refocus. But those are my tips for getting a self-portrait out in nature. Well, that was kind of fun, wasn't it? I hope you'll give it a try. A couple of other things that are very helpful to have when you're doing self-portraits. Of course, you'll need a tripod or a stable area to place your camera. And the other thing that works really well is a wireless remote. I use that quite a bit. They're easy to hide. And you can use an app on your phone. That works perfectly well, but then you've got to figure out, do I want my phone in the photo, and if not, how I'm going to stash it real quick. So anyway, I hope you'll give self-portraits a try. They can be a lot of fun, and then you've got some documentation of you. So have fun, good luck, and let's see those self-portraits.